So it's time for your July 2021 Atlanta real estate market update. Hey everybody, Chris and Kristy here, and we are bringing you July's market update for the Atlanta market. We are going to compare what's going on nationally to what's going on here in the Atlanta market and talk about what's going on with buyers right now because they are really feeling like the market may not be so great for them.
There's some buyer pain going on right now.
For sure. So buyers have this perception that the market just isn't as good as it was, let's say, this time last year, right?
Yeah, there's definitely a stat on that. 61% last year at this time felt it was a great time to buy, but recently that stat has dropped down to 35% feel like it's a good time to buy.
And I don't know that this is really based on any facts, right? These are just surveys on how buyers are feeling.
Yeah.
Which their feelings are showing up and apparent in the number of showings that we're seeing also on our listings in the Atlanta market, right?
Yeah, there's less buyers looking at each listing. It's dropped to about 2 less buyers per property that are looking at properties.
Yeah. So even though it may not be well-founded, it's definitely affecting what's going on in our local market.
Yeah.
So the realities are that buyers are experiencing something called buyer fatigue.
Buyer fatigue. I was calling it buyer pain earlier, but it's buyer fatigue for sure.
So one of the first reasons why they're experiencing that is they're seeing these record high prices and appreciation of the homes.
Yep, extremely low inventory.
And so what is happening in the Atlanta market, that high price is 28% over last year. So they're seeing that price rise and it's making them kind of want to put the brakes on.
And low but ever so slightly increasing with 8,755 homes on the market in June.
So yeah, the inventory is low. So, but we are watching the incremental changes. So it is just barely increasing, which is a great sign.
Yep.
And then we have had some record high sales with the amount someone is willing to pay above list price.
Yeah, when I'm working with buyers and I print off properties that have sold, it's usually above list price.
Yes, so the average is about 2% above list price, but it depends on what area is more popular or has less inventory or more inventory. I know the highest one I've been seeing lately, we have had an offer that's about $40,000 to $50,000 above the list price.
$40,000 to $50,000 above list price. That's crazy.
So it's a lot more than the 2% average, but in overall, you're looking at 2%.
And then we have record low days on the market.
Definitely record low days. I mean, we are looking at 17 days.
17 days. 17 days. You put a house on the market, it's sold in 17 days or under contract in 17 days? Under contract in 17 days.
Yep.
And then last one, historically low mortgage rates. That's still going on right now. Everybody knows that mortgage rates are low. What are we hovering around?
Well, and when the rates are low, right now they're hovering around 3%, which is just, like you said, historical. When the rates are low, everyone kind of has that frenzy of wanting to buy to get that low rate, but then they've been dealing with kind of the inventory and
the
competition and everything going on in the market, that it kind of causes buyers to have this buyer fatigue.
Yeah. So in a nutshell, we found a quote from JP Morgan, so let's read what they had to say. Home buyers, interest rates are still historically low, though they are inching up right now. Housing prices have spiked during the last 6 to 9 months, but we don't expect to see them fall anytime soon. And in fact, we believe they're more likely to keep rising. So if you're looking to purchase a new home, conditions now may be better than 12 months from now.
So why would JP Morgan say it's better to buy now with purchasing?
Because even though interest rates are gonna do whatever they're gonna do, home prices are gonna still continually go up.
Yes, so this next slide is going to show you if you were to buy a house at $350,000 in 2021, what the projection looks like over the next 5 years and what that home would be worth. And so it comes out to $443,000.
So almost $100,000 more. It's $93,629, but we're talking about almost $100,000 in appreciation of a house 5 years from now.
And then the appreciation is actually seems really high for buyers right now because it's at 8.66% in this next slide. And people feel like, they tell us a lot of times they're going to wait for the prices to drop.
Right. But really what's going to happen is appreciation is going to steadily decline, but that's still appreciation. So it's technically still going up. It's just going to go up at a little bit slower of a rate.
Yes. So if you're telling yourself you're waiting for the prices to drop, that might not be the best thing to do.
No.
So they're predicting that the market will continue to have low interest rates and the prices are going to continue to rise, just not as sharp of a rise up we've seen in the last year or two. Don't give up. If you're a buyer, now
Do not give up.
Not the time to give up.
Yeah.
Don't give in to what your perception is of the market, because you will, feel bad 5 years from now that you didn't take advantage.
I have direct examples of buyers that are closing on even new construction houses right now, and I'm telling them the price they got in now is going to be way more if they had waited.
So let's look at some quotes from some other industry experts that also give a positive spin on this.
Yeah, so here's one from Odetta Kushi, Deputy Chief Economist at First American. He says, "It looks like existing inventory is starting to inch up, which is good news for a housing market parched for more supply."
And then we're seeing another significant week over week gain in inventory. What great news for buyers.
Yep. And then Lawrence Yoon, Chief Economist at the National Association of Realtors, says supply is expected to improve, which will give buyers more options and help tamp down record high asking prices for existing homes. So there are a little bit of changes to come for buyers.
For sure. So let's talk about what sellers are facing, what challenges the sellers might be facing in this market. We're just kidding.
Just kidding on that.
We know that sellers are also having challenges. One of the challenges that we're seeing, though, is that sellers kind of feel like that they can price their house at whatever they want to price their house at.
Or agents might tell them they don't have to do anything to their house. They can just put a for sale sign on the yard and magical buyers are just gonna buy it and not have any issues at all with the house.
So sellers still need to be realistic about what is going on in the market and how to properly market their home, because I think that that's really what's skewing buyers' vision on what's going on in the market as well.
Yeah, at the end of the day, your house still has a value and an appraiser still has to come out of the house to determine that value.
Yeah, so that is one of the other challenges really in the market is appraised values are not really keeping up with the demand.
The rise in the prices, the appraisers aren't able to keep up with that. So what ends up happening, something's got to happen. So if a house is worth $800,000 and it appraises for $750,000 and they were under contract for $800,000, somehow that $50,000 gap has to be made up. So either the buyer's going to have to overpay the $50,000 gap, or they're going to have to come up with some type of negotiation where they split that gap, or the seller's going to have to reduce from the $800,000 down to the $750,000.
Yeah, so we're not saying there's no challenges for sellers right now, but it's definitely a more advantageous market for sellers than it is for buyers.
So that's it. It wraps up our July 2021 Atlanta real estate market update.
Yes, thank you so much for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and definitely like and subscribe to make sure you're getting all of our content.
Yeah, and if you want any questions about your home's value, or if you have any questions about real estate in general, we're just a phone call away.
So we'll see you next time on the August market update.